Welcome to Videodrone, a podcast about TV and movies and pop culture. The past 7 weeks, including this one, we've been talking about The Last of Us Season 2 on HBO. My name's Ben Vanel. I'm joined by Tommy Daslow. And in the room, for the first time, we had to close it out with a real live bro down.
Yeah.
With the cream pie master, Greg Larsen.
Thank you so much. My name's Greg, King of Cream Pies. King of the Cream Pie. I mean, it is funny that it's like, it's a special event. Like, I'm about 15 minutes away.
I like how you say in the room for the first time.
Yeah.
Greg used to be purely digital.
That's
and
right.
then we've downloaded him weird science style so that we can be sitting here with a...
I'm the reverse lawnmower man. Wait, is that the lawnmower man?
Yeah, he's an internet guy.
He's an internet guy.
I think, yeah.
Except I read the short story of Lawnmower Man, and
yeah?
it's nothing to do with the movie Lawnmower Man.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Who's penned the Lawnmower Man?
Stephen King.
Oh,
it's a Stephen King short story.
Yeah, okay.
I've never seen Lawnmower Man, but would this work as a parody? Leaf Blower Man. Do you reckon anyone's done that?
Well, I mean,
that would have been a full frontal sketch back in the day. Dave
yeah.
O'Neill is
Did they
the
have
Leaf
leaf
Blower
blowers
Man.
back then?
fuck, broom guy.
I thought leaf blowers. I thought leaf blowers were like AI leaf blowers, crypto.
What? Yeah.
All together. You know, like in the tech world.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It took a while for the tech bros to come up with leaf blowers.
Yeah.
It's the same technology as the vapes, right? And then they put it into they were like, hang on, we can use
What if
this
we had a reverse vape for leaves? Instead of vaping
Bigger.
apple nicotine juice,
Yeah.
we vape leaves away.
Yes.
Yeah, bigger and backwards.
You could
The Greg Larsen show.
I guarantee you, if you were committed enough, you could trick enough fucking losers by just saying tech, crypto, reverse vape,
Yeah.
and just like get people to invest in a leaf blower.
Yeah.
I reckon you could. There's easily enough morons out there.
You get
Cyber
people
leaf.
to invest in something that already exists by claiming
Yeah.
you've just invented it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's which is basically what every single
That's what Uber is.
tech business.
Yeah.
That's what Uber is.
Yeah.
That's what Airbnb is.
Yeah, what if this but this?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if
What if there was an app and it was more expensive and worse?
Yeah.
what if video game but on TV?
Yeah.
And instead of being a 25, 30-ish hour experience, what if 6 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if 6 years to watch one story that
And
takes place over 4 days?
Less than 17 hours of actual content. Well, I mean, let's get into it. I feel like we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Tommy messaged me last night, I should say. I did not reach out to him. I want that on record.
Yeah, you would
Yeah,
never
yeah.
message Tommy
No.
of your own accord.
No.
Well, it was over Bumble, so I had to make the first move. That's how we communicate. We have an exchange and then we unfollow each other.
right.
And then next time we want to chat, it's left purely up to chance. I have to sit there and swipe my little thumbs off if I want to have a messaging session with Ben.
Another beautiful tech bro innovation. But yeah,
What if women do all the work?
Tommy messaged me and was like, "I've watched The Last of Us," and I was like, "Okay, I'm watching it at the moment. I'll see how I feel about it." I messaged back and I was like, "I watched The Last of Us, watched the rehearsal, both great, loved them both." And Tommy said, "I hated The Last of Us." And I'm curious,
Interesting,
what your response was, Greg, because I enjoyed it. I think that based on like us kind of talking through all the permutations of what was probably going to be how the show ended this season, I had braced myself for maybe something worse, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
And again, like we talked a lot about watching with our partners and their response as a non-gamer, not knowing the story. And my partner was certainly like very, very sad at a lot of the events that happened, but wasn't particularly pissed off at like where the show has indicated it's going next season.
See, this is the thing from people. I've seen a bit of this online of people who haven't played the games. I thought people in that position would be really mad at this ending.
Right.
But generally, from what I've seen, they're not.
Yeah.
Which I found interesting.
Which so if I were to like, and I can say this categorically because there's been plenty of shows that have done similar things that I haven't known what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If I had watched this episode without knowing anything about it, I would have enjoyed the episode and then been really fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's where I land. Like, I liked the episode. I liked a lot of what happened in the episode. I just think kind of where it ended and as a season on the whole, it just kind of made me feel like
I just think, and I feel like I've said this before, but like a cliffhanger at the end of a season is at best like lazy writing and at worst cynical, or the opposite. I don't know, but it's like either when you have a cut to black, and you have no idea what's going to happen, and then you have to wait, X amount of time. It's either the network saying we don't trust the audience to stick around, so we have to fucking find a way to hook them.
Yep.
Or it's writers going, I don't know how to fucking what happens next. Let's just give ourselves a break,
Sure,
so we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Just smash to black. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's the kind of ending where like every once in a while it works and there's a point to it, and most of the time it's lazy.
Yeah.
And this was like super lazy, and not lazy because they know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
next.
exactly. It's not. Yeah, they don't have to give themselves. They don't have to have given themselves 2 years to figure it out.
I think that kind of was my where I landed on it was like I like a lot of stuff that was in there and most of what was in this season, but I just kind of feel like, man, imagine this as an episode where we knew we were coming back next week and seeing all this stuff. That'd like knowing that we had 3 more.
Right.
I'd be like, wow, how good's this going to be?
Yeah, totally.
Knowing that it's like a 2 year, I don't know.
I mean, you even like if I was to compare it to like House of the Dragon, right?
Yeah.
Which I remember like at the end of season 1. This is a spoiler for House of the Dragon. Too bad. I don't care. It's been years now.
Yeah.
And again, that's another fucking show that I actually am enjoying. Yeah. But then it's like it's so long between seasons that I'm like, what? I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
But when they ended, they sort of like, and again, you have to. If a story continues, then you can't just have the end of the story at the end. Obviously there's more story to come, but in House of the Dragon, where at the end of season 1, the guy, who the fuck knows any of their names? The guy with the eye patch.
Oh yeah. Aemon.
Yeah, his dragon kills the other kid.
Yes.
From the other family.
Yes.
And kills the kid, right?
Yeah.
Just totally kills the kid, kills the dragon, and he didn't mean to do it. He was trying to scare him, and then he's like, "Fuck, this means war."
Yeah.
That to me wasn't a cliffhanger, because that's you see the action, you see what happens, and then you're like, okay, and then you have a breath to go. Now there's going to be a war between these two houses.
Yeah.
And we want to see what happens next, but we know the kid is dead. We know what has happened. This guy's dead, and now we're going. Fuck, what's going to happen?
We
next?
know the consequences essentially.
Yeah, we know. We can guess as to what will happen next, but we don't know. But whereas imagine if the dragon had flown to the other dragon and then went and then just cut to black.
Right. Yeah.
It's that's just lazy.
Yes.
Then it's now we got to wait to find out, did he die? Did he not die? What it's the same thing in this is and I said this when Breaking Bad came out, in that episode where Jesse points the gun at Gale and then it just cut to black. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But
I just think it's so funny that, Greg, you, over the course of us talking about the show, about 3 times you've referenced the Breaking Bad Gale thing, and then that's exactly what they ended up doing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I was
literally.
My God.
It's shot for shot.
Yeah.
It was
and
you know what's
through
so
the doorway
funny?
and pulling the gun.
That right after that, my internet cut out, so my screen went black.
Oh, brutal.
For 10 seconds before the little spinning wheel thing came up. But so
you thought it was a Soprano situation.
I really did think it was literally hard out on that, and then the other stuff with Abby, whatever it is, minute or so of that came in, which kind of changes it ever so slightly. But I really did think fuck, they've done it beat for beat how it happens in Breaking Bad.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I mean, and this is from my partner, and different people are gonna see things differently, but when she watched it and then it cuts to Abby, she's like, what the fuck, is Ellie dead? And then it cuts to Abby waking up on the couch. Her reaction was, she's dead.
Right.
And then it said Seattle day 1, and then she thought that was oh yeah, Ellie's dead now, and this is
day one of Abby's new
the next
kind of
the next
step,
day.
next
She thought this is
chapter.
the next
Yeah,
day.
interesting.
She didn't understand that it was like actually going back in time.
Right.
And maybe people listening to this didn't understand that if they hadn't seen the thing. But
Yeah.
like, it's like, I mean, it's sort of clear, but also not that clear because we only
Yeah.
see it for a second.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not even super clear as to exactly what's happening. But more to the point, if I didn't know the game and I didn't know the characters back to front, in 2 years or 3 years when this show comes out, I'll be like, who's that again?
Yeah.
Who's
It's a
any of
big
these
ask, and
people?
especially like
Yeah.
you can have cliffhangers and you can have seasons kind of drawn out. But I kind of do think like the way they've said that this game, like the adaptation of this game, is going to be over 2 more seasons now. Yeah. It's like those events in the game happen in like the course of like a week or something. It's like that's such a long time frame to stretch out in real world time. And I kind of felt like in season 1, I liked seeing, I liked seeing the adaptation. I liked seeing things that were different. And I kind of have felt like with this, I felt like knowing the events of the game has kind of hindered my enjoyment a little bit. Like I've just kind of watched it in such a different way, and that lingering thing of how are they going to do this? How are they going to break it up? At what point are they going to get out? And it does kind of feel like maybe having the guy that makes the games also making the show, I felt like it was a benefit in season 1, and it's felt like maybe a bit of a hindrance here. Like it might have been better with just someone completely outside of it to go like, this is what, this is as a fan, this is what, I don't know.
I think that could well be true, but I also think that the specific person who is not one of the creators of the game, who they've got to essentially kind of take the helm of season 2 mostly, is the wrong person to maybe have done that. Like his perspective as an outsider is not the perspective that is giving us the best show. We should go through the episode.
Yeah, let's go through the episode. Yeah. Because I did like that's kind of a weird one because I did when I said that to you and then you were like, oh, we really liked it. I was like, yeah, I guess I really did like most of what happened.
Right.
I'm just like, I guess that's why I kind of feel overall I'm like, yeah, I can't see myself still caring in 2 years and then still caring another 2 years after that.
Right.
Because I do think there is a way to have done this as one season with slightly more episodes.
Yeah, I mean...
/ film them concurrently and have them come out 6 months apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the issue is literally that they, whoever made the decision to make this 3 seasons is an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, it is.
yeah.
Like, it's like...
Yeah.
It's like when... Like going back to, I remember watching like a video essay on why Lord of the Rings would never happen again.
Yeah,
the trilogy.
right.
But like, when they went to New Line Cinema were the only people that went because they were originally pitching like 2 movies. Because they were like, we're never going to get 3 up. And then eventually they were just like, fuck, we might have to go to 1. Like we might have to try and make the whole Lord of the Rings in 1 movie.
Yeah.
And New Line Cinema went, this is not 2 movies. This is 3 movies. The book is 3. It's a fucking long book.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're going to do it, you got to make it 3 movies.
Yeah.
And you also got to kind of just film it, like just back, like all in one go.
Yeah.
And so The Lord of the Rings came out year after year.
Yeah.
Because they filmed the entire thing as basically one massive movie.
One big production. Yeah.
One big production that ran on into each other, right? And and in that context, a year wait was like fine.
Yeah.
And also, again, a perfect example of 3 movies that end with the main thing in the movie is resolved.
Yeah.
But then it's like, and now what the next step of the journey begins.
Yeah.
Right? So you weren't on this like literal cliffhanger of like, the Battle of Helm's Deep was won.
Right.
Imagine if like an orc swung his axe and then it just cut to black.
Yeah.
And
See you
wait
next year.
until next year to find out if the battle gets won or not.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like the game was really good and they wanted to adapt the game. They were like, yeah, cool. We want to make this game.
Yep.
So don't be a fucking idiot. Why was the game good? The pacing of the game is crucial to that.
Yeah.
And to have like a kind of like a shorter episode number than like a standard season of television as well. It's not like if you went, oh, we did 10 episodes and even then it was like too much to fit in. It's like, okay, you've already like compacted it and added in a whole episode of like extra stuff of like them deciding whether or not they're going to follow Joel that I don't think really needed to be like a full. So there definitely are ways to have done it. Like you could have had a 10 episode, 12 episode and fit in and maybe cut it at a different point, which maybe we'll get to later. But
We'll go through the episode.
Let's go through the goddamn episode.
Do you want to get up? Do you guys remember what happened beat by beat?
Basically. I mean, we don't have to go like every single fucking because we've already talked heaps.
Yeah,
and we've got opinions.
It's Ellie turns back up at the theater.
Yep.
She's obviously visually kind of fucking rocked by what she's done. And she and also is it before Ellie gets back that Jesse is tending to Dina's
Jesse's
wound?
pulling out the dart.
The
crossbow bolt.
Yes.
The dart.
The dart. Smoking a dart.
Yeah.
Is there a little pre-credit?
There's not. No, this was like a.
There's no like
previously on and then straight into the pre-cum credit.
Yeah.
Pre-cum.
There's no
pre-cum.
Is there pre-cum? Yeah, because we do see.
Is pre-cum real? I'm a pre-cum truther. I don't think pre-cum is real. I think it's just cum.
It's just cum.
I think it's just cum.
Well, you can get
it's just
pregnant
the first
from
part of cum.
Yeah, you can get pregnant from it.
Pre-cum is the first part of cum.
Yeah. I don't have my first bite of dinner and go, this is pre-meal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's just the meal. I've started.
I'll go one step further. I think all the cum should come out at once.
Yeah.
The pacing of how cum comes out is integral.
Now
to
we
the
do
whole experience.
Getting a girl back to your house. Now we do things a little bit different here. The cum just comes out when it's ready.
We do things a little bit differently.
Do you want that all at once, or do you want me to sort of stagger
a little bit
it?
differently around here. You're leaving? Yep. No worries. I'll see you later. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We do a degustation of cum here. It's just little bits of cum every now and then.
Fuck, that's good
I want a
shit.
t-shirt that says I'm a pre-cum truther. This will be my next episode of my podcast. Is just conspiracy theories about pre-cum.
Yes.
We've had some good ones over remotely, but you just a riff like that. I truly do think you couldn't.
You got to
get
be in the
outside of
room
it.
to get a pre-cum riff.
You got to be in the room.
You can have great ones online. Don't get me wrong, but
Absolutely.
there's something different in the air when you're all in the same space.
Anyway, so the pre-cum, the cut, the crossbow
Post cum.
the post cum.
Yep.
The crossbow comes out.
Yeah. Dina refuses the alcohol.
Dina refuses the
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
Which also I thought like I reckon like yes you shouldn't drink when you have pregnant.
Yep.
Right.
This is. I've heard this.
This is true, but like
Yeah.
also like heaps of people have drunk heaps of alcohol when pregnant.
People
yeah.
smoked darts when they're
People
pregnant as
smoke
well.
darts when
Yeah.
they're pregnant.
Yeah.
If I had a crossbow, if I was pregnant, I wouldn't drink.
Yeah.
But if I had a crossbow bolt in my thigh,
Yeah.
I'd go fuck it. Like
If
I'm
there's no
sure
other
the baby
anesthetic-
will be all right.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd have to imagine it's a lot more common in this world. Like fetal
Yes.
alcohol syndrome, probably the least of
Yeah.
your worries
Yeah.
in the
I'd be
grand
like,
scheme of things.
Yeah.
Is a couple of little a little taste of whiskey that bad in this context?
Hey, if I
Just have
find
the
some
fucking-
coffee, I'm fucking having it.
Yeah.
Some soft cheese.
Oh, give me some brie.
Yeah, if some brie has managed to survive everything that's gone on in the last 20 years, if I find an untouched wheel of it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, little Rudiger. I'm hitting it.
What I want to bring up too is at no point in this show or the game or anything has anyone ever suggested like, hey, these guys are all fungus. Could we cook up some of these?
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't you cut off a bit of the clicker and cook it, just taste it, see what it's like?
Yeah, I wonder.
Or is that what gets you? Is that how you?
Yeah, it would get into the system.
Eating them can't be great, but
Yeah.
maybe it's a thing where
Cook it.
Yeah.
they've discovered that it's like actually this would be a good spin-off. It's
Okay.
it's like the best. It's like it's a taste.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's a flavor unlike anything you've ever tried before.
Right, Yeah.
But
right.
you will turn into like the worst kind of clicker almost immediately, and it's like and it's brutal and painful
yeah.
the way it happens. But there are people out there that are like, you know what? that's a price I'm happy to pay.
The menu too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Click a boogaloo.
I reckon if you cook it, like you reduce the alcohol. You know, when you're cooking you're simmering off the alcohol in a white wine glaze. I think it should probably sterilize. Yeah.
Serify.
You do like a Hannibal Lecter where you've like cut off the top of a clicker's head.
Yeah.
And you're just slowly eating its brain while it's still alive.
Oh, man.
I would love to eat a bloody bloater, I'll tell you that much.
Fuck.
Slow cooked bloater. Oh.
On the
It's my cheat day. I'm having it.
I'm having a bloater.
I love a bloater on the spit. And I've said that before in different contexts.
Yeah.
All right, so we've so far gotten into the first shot of the first scene.
Because we do see... And again, I'm not sure when this happens. We do see Isaac sort of like gearing up, right? Like we do see bits and pieces of all this other stuff that's happening across Seattle.
Yep.
But
So that happens. I think like not long after this. Like you see Isaac gearing up, and they're basically preparing for what is obviously some big military operation.
Yep.
And one could guess against the scars.
yes,
And he's saying, "Where the fuck is Abby?
yeah.
Abby's been missing for a few days.
Yep.
They don't know where any of them are." And he's like. And she's like, "Why do you care that much about Abby?"
Yeah.
And
You trying to fuck her?
yeah, I kind of like that.
He's
little
trying to
thing.
smash?
She like genuinely is like, are you the first? Like, you're not the first old man to like. You know, she's legitimately like, "You're trying to fuck her," and he's like, "No." Like, no.
I'm sick of people saying this to me.
It's like she can lead the thing, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah." Okay,
Just because a little bit of pre-cum comes out every time I see her, but it's not cum.
Yeah, it's something
As
else.
we know.
Yeah. But he basically has anointed Abby as the next... He's like, well, you're going to die. I'm probably going to die.
Yep.
Abby's going to take over. And presumably he's not going to like chuck her on the front lines. He's, you know.
Yeah.
It also seems quite pessimistic too. I mean, what is this military operation where the leaders are all going to die?
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's like, let's be honest. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be here. You're probably not going to be here.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that fills me with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
But yes, Dina's had the bolt out. She's bandaged up. Ellie comes back. She's like... Oh, yeah, that was pretty fucked. How you going, Dina? Dina's like, yeah, I'm all right. And Jesse is a little bit... like, because he's kind of been like, well, Tommy's out there. There's a rendezvous point. We've just got to find Tommy and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and this is
all
where
fucked.
Ellie is like, kind of tells Dina like what's happened, like who these people are,
Right.
what Joel did,
Yep.
what she represents, gives her the full context, and Dina's just like, yeah, we got to go.
Yeah.
Like we just got to get the fuck out of here. Like
Dina's-
they killed him as you're getting revenge on them when they were just.
Yeah.
They were just like he killed a whole fucking hospital full of people.
Yeah.
That seems like just he got what's coming. Like this is harebrained.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
And also they got no leads apart. She said whale and wheel.
Yes.
Yep.
She's clearly shaken up by like, not really that she like bashed Nora to death.
Yeah.
But more that she didn't have a problem with bashing Nora to death,
Yes.
and then in hindsight is like, I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Which is pretty full on.
But yeah,
It's like, I was sort of stopped out in the rain for like an hour after that, just
Yeah.
kind of flashing back to like
Yeah.
my birthday on various different years and remembered this kind of conversation of like the last time I saw him, and all of a sudden I was like, oh fuck.
But yeah, essentially is like she was infected, she was babbling. I don't even know if those two words mean anything.
Yeah.
We're done here. Let's we got a baby to take care of.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's
we got a little bub.
we got a little bubba.
Yep.
And
Post cum.
then
Oh yeah.
yeah,
that's right.
every person is post cum.
Yeah.
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 Damn.
Yeah. Fuck.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that is deep.
You are cum that got big.
Yeah.
Your slung rope.
That's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's up there. That's up there.
Oh, it's up there, Jerry.
We're all just fucking little tadpoles trying to do our best here, all right? But yeah, they sleep on it. Morning comes, and
They're like, we got to go get Tommy.
We
We got
gotta
to
go
go to
get
the
Tommy first.
rendezvous
Yeah.
point. And
Yeah.
Ellie has said, like, yeah, we're leaving. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. We're
Yeah.
going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she doesn't know where the fuck to go.
yes,
Yep.
And so they go to the rendezvous point.
that's right. The
Mm-hmm.
bookstore.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're on their way, and like Tommy, Jesse, sorry.
Yep.
Jesse confronts Ellie, and he's like, Dina's pregnant, isn't she? And Ellie's like, yes. He tricks her. He's
kinda-
like, she probably told you that she's pregnant. And Ellie goes, yeah. And then she goes, fuck, you didn't know. And he's like, nah, suck shit. That was the classic trick.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
And then Jesse's clearly annoyed. They get to the bookshop, the rendezvous point. They see that Tommy ain't there.
Yes.
And this is the point where Jesse kind of goes like, look, I'm not happy, but also I get it. Like, and he says, I love her, but not the way you love her. And that's like cool. And it's fine.
Because I was in love with a painter and I bought 4 of her shit painters.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then she fucking blew out of Dodge and I was like, I can't follow you.
Best 2 weeks of my life. Yeah.
I'm a selfless man and I do what's
hero.
best for the community, and I knew I had to stay back and be the next Maria.
And she's like, fuck the community.
Yeah.
And
my community got his fucking head bashed in by Abby.
Yeah.
That's my community.
Yeah.
She actually, that's exactly what she says a bit later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and
then...
and he's like, if it wasn't for me, you would have been fucking killed last night.
Yeah.
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 And I think it's before the bookstore. Is it before the bookstore that it happens where like, it's either before or immediately after where like they're walking and then they hear like gunshots and they run and hide and there's there's wolves chasing a
Oh yeah,
scar.
it's before. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah.
before.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And-
Yeah.
Because that's what leads to kind of the blow up of like, oh, you're so good, but like, like, oh, what do you...
You just let a little kid fucking die.
Yeah. But which is like, I did question Ellie's motivations in there because like from what we know about Ellie now, like she's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like she's good at killing. She's a soldier. And she has literally seen these scars or seraphites or these religious people like rip open people's intestines and pull them out.
Yes.
And I mean, if it was me, I mean, I don't know. Like she wants to save this kid because he's
outnumbered.
He's outnumbered
Yeah.
and he's unarmed and they're going to kill him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like this is like what Jesse says makes a lot of sense. Like these guys are at war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're ripping out each other's guts.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Like-
you jumping in here is just you're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse
Well-
makes a very good point. Ellie doesn't make a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good even character thing. Like I feel like she's not that dumb that she
Yeah.
would go after those 6. Like I feel like she would go. Like I can't go after these 6 dudes with guns.
Yeah. You started a thought there where you said if it was me, and I'm just interested to know like what you would have done
if
in
it was
that,
me,
in that
I would've-
situation.
I
What
would've
you would have
do
done?
that. Yeah.
I would have done a spin kick.
Yes.
But like not even, I would have just stood up and went, oi, and then just done like 6 spin kicks in a row.
Right.
And then go, do you want to tangle with this?
Yes.
And
Yes.
they would have all pre-cummed.
Yeah.
So you
yeah.
do 6 spin kicks in a row, one for
Yeah.
each of the guys to
Yeah.
kind of show them.
Like this will be
Each
for
one
you.
of these has your name on
and
it.
then this will be, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they
yeah.
go, fucking whatever.
he's got-
Like,
he's-
I'm following this guy from now on.
If
You
there
want-
were 7
yeah,
of
you
us,
got
he
a
might be
bodyguard.
fucked. But he
Yeah.
can spin around at least 6 times in a row without getting dizzy.
yeah.
Oh,
He's got our number.
He didn't say that he was not dizzy.
That's true. Then I spew all over myself, pass out.
No, what I would have done is I would have hid in that bin.
Yes.
And Jesse would have been like, we're fine behind the bin. I'm like, no, I want to hide in the bin.
Yeah,
I want
it's
to
a bit
get in
extra
there.
protection.
Yeah.
I want to get in the bin with the grot.
yeah.
The grot.
It smells good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have paused the game and got my older brother to come and take care of it for me. Look up a guide. Crank the difficulty down.
Yeah.
Put the colorblind setting on just for fun.
Put the difficulty onto a story mode.
Yeah.
Play Hogwarts Legacy instead.
So then we get to the bookshop, and then they hear on the radio there's a sniper,
Yes.
and they're like, "That's got to be Tommy.
It's got to
Yeah.
be Tommy.
It's got to be Tommy.
He loves to snipe.
Let's go get him."
Yeah.
And
They know where as well. Like they're like, oh, it's over. I forget the docks. So it's somewhere, but
Yeah.
it's kind of not in the opposite direction of the aquarium, but it's not in the direction.
So he's down at the docks knocking the dicks out of our mouths. We need backup.
no, because at this point she doesn't know anything about an aquarium. They go, "Let's go up. Let's go
That's right.
up and
That's
get
right.
a view and
Yep.
see if we can see what they're talking about."
Yeah.
They go up, and she's looking through binoculars. Then she sees a big wheel and a whale
Yes.
on the side of the aquarium, and she's like, "Holy shit!
Holy
I know
shit.
where Abby is."
Get
What is
them.
this, the fucking Blue Prince? I've just solved
Yeah.
the puzzle of a lifetime.
And she's like, "I know," and this changes things.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
like, now it's not now I know exactly where Abby is.
Yes.
and
Me go there.
And
Yeah.
Jesse's like, we got to go after Tommy.
Yeah.
And you don't know. And then she's like, my community, like you said,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
community got his head bashed in front of me. I'm going.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jesse, she is fucking fuming. This
Yes.
is like the revenge that that some people have criticized that wasn't in her eyes, which I
Yep.
think is bullshit because,
Yep.
you know, like you can not be real mad at some points in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we just saw her bash Nora to death or half to death and leave her to become infected last week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a result of not getting that information was kind of like a bit defeated. But yeah, once you get that spark again, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, this is everything that
And
my
like-
whole life
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
driving
Like
towards.
literally there.
It's
I can
right
see
there.
it. I can
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah.
got to get there. And Jesse
Yeah.
knows there's not even any point arguing. He goes, good luck. And
Yeah.
he just leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope you make it. I hope you make it back or
I
whatever.
hope you
yeah.
make it.
Here's the paraglider. If you push the Y button,
Oh.
this will deploy while
Man,
you're in
that would
midair.
have been so
and you can
good.
float just all the way down there.
Yeah.
I
Unfortunately.
would have been okay with that as a little bit of creative license.
It would have been cool if there was like a flying fox.
She had a wingsuit.
and she got on the flying fox and was like real mad, but then it was kind of like, I think you should leave. Like she's like, yeah,
Yes.
and then like it's down, and then she's like, pull me up.
Runs back up.
I want to do one more. Then I'll go up there. I want to do one more. And
Yeah.
Jesse's like, give me a fucking turn.
Yeah.
It's like, don't you want to get Tommy? It's like, fuck off. And then suddenly Tommy's just there going, oi, stop hogging it. And then all the scars and the wolves are all lining up.
yeah.
Like, they're all just
Yeah.
like lining up going, fuck.
It's not
Yes.
raining anymore. The sun's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she's going over the ocean, she looks down and all the Skellingtons are on the ocean floor doing a big dance. And
Yeah.
she's like, yes.
Yeah.
Now that's a
I think
fucking
we all would have
ending.
been okay with
Yeah.
that.
And then it
Yeah.
just fades to black as they're just doing zip lines over
Yeah.
and over again.
Yeah.
And then
See,
just text
yeah.
saying, and then they all did zip lines forever.
Yeah. And I think then
sucked each other
knowing
off.
that we had a 2-year wait for more zipline, I think I'd be
Yeah.
okay with because
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, I can tell where this is
Yeah.
going.
I can literally tell where it's
I can
going.
wait. I'm happy to have a bit of a breather from the ziplining
Yeah,
after
yeah,
watching an hour of it.
I'll just watch it again in the interim.
So anyway, so she heads off.
She heads off. Jesse's just like, boop, all right, he's out of the picture. He's going to find Tommy.
Yep.
Good luck to him.
And then now it's like nighttime. She's down at the docks.
Yes.
Yep.
She sees a little boat, and then she's thinking maybe I'll get in that boat. And then she sees some dudes walking along. They got a little boat,
Yep.
and they got some stuff. And she's like, maybe I'll shoot these dudes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Maybe I'll shoot these dudes and get their boat.
Get their bloody boat.
But hang on a second. Now there's 50 boats.
yeah.
There's a lot of them.
There's all these wolves, and they're picking someone up. Something's going on. There's
And it's
big
raining
military.
too. Isn't that bad luck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Rain.
yeah.
Makes it a lot more.
Well, they talk about earlier, I think, in that scene, just before they touch on Abby of like the storm. There's a big storm. It's going to get worse. And Isaac's like, "We're doing it. We're doing it tonight."
I got the thing. I think when she says that too, it was like, that's good.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
It's
yeah.
good for us.
yeah, good
Yeah.
cover. Provides good cover.
Like-
It's nice to know that even in this world with everything going on, there's still people who just can't help themselves but talk about the weather.
Yeah.
How about this rain? It's pretty crazy,
crazy,
hey?
this rain,
It's
yeah.
colder today than it was yesterday. I wouldn't mind it so much if the sun was also out, but it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
getting
It's the
dark
wind,
earlier.
It's the wind
It's
that
the
gets
wind.
ya.
Yeah.
It's the
Blowing
wind.
your hair all over
And
the
it's-
place.
and it's like, and it's fine when it's like this, but when it gets humid, that's when I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
fucking stand it. It's the humidity.
Man, I
can't-
was in Cairns
I
yesterday.
don't mind a dry heat.
It was so humid in Cairns. I was literally just constantly sweating.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do people live there?
I bet
Cairns
there-
is, Cairns is a fuckhole.
Yeah.
You don't
Cairns is
see
a
it, but I bet
fuckhole.
there
Yeah.
are wolves on that boat being like, boy, this is pretty bad, but I tell you what, it'd be brutal being in Cairns right now.
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing that. There's a shopping centre.
Yeah.
And then there's a marina, and all the boats say stuff like Cairns Draft, the True
Yeah.
North beer.
I like it. I like it there.
I
Did
would-
you leave the airport?
Yeah. We went to the beach.
Oh,
Walked
right.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. No, it's too hot.
Well, you can't
It's
get
hot
in the
and
beach.
humid.
Yeah, you can't swim, right?
Yeah, you can get down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, there's some mangroves nearby with some crocs, but like there's a bit of the
Oh,
beach
sure.
and there's a marina. I think it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
safe.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more that you shouldn't swim there because of crocs and jellyfish.
Yeah, yes. Yes. It's not stinger season though, is it? That's
Yeah,
summer,
but you
right?
can always get them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I remember being in Darwin and there was a beach that looked amazing. And there was a sign that said, in these months of the year, watch out for crocodiles because
Yeah.
they do sometimes swim along the beach. In these months of the year, watch out for jellyfish. Also, don't ever swim because there's crocs and jellyfish like whenever.
Yeah.
Man, I went to Borneo last year, fucking loved it. And there were, like, the first thing you do when you get off, like, you have to get a boat from the mainland out to this little island, beautiful nature park, untouched, monkeys everywhere. And they're like, there's crocodiles everywhere. Here's a map. There's drawings of crocodiles. Don't go swimming anywhere that there's crocodiles, and there's crocodiles everywhere. And I'm walking down the beach, and a full family of tourists letting their kids just swim in the ocean.
Awesome.
Like, they're going to get eaten by crocodiles.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised we didn't see more crocodiles in this season of The Last of Us.
Yeah, do they have crocodiles in Seattle?
Probably.
They should have crocodile clickers.
Yeah. The Last of Us Down Under. Joel, you cunt.
I'm the clicker hunter. Clicking old Dundee.
Has anyone ever fucked a clicker?
So she gets the boat.
They leave and she just gets in this other boat. Gets in the other boat. She's scooting along in the boat. Going towards the wheel.
Yep.
And a big wave hits.
Yeah.
She does what you are not supposed to do.
I couldn't believe she did this. So stupid.
But to be fair, she does live in a post-apocalypse and has spent almost all her life not anywhere near an ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
she
will
might
say
not
I didn't know
know-
that. I watched
You
this
didn't
and I
know
was
that.
like,
She might not
that's
know about
smart. I would
waves.
never think to do that.
No, you go directly into the wave.
You go
Okay.
directly into the wave. You don't go side on into the wave.
Yeah. okay.
Perpendicular.
Yeah.
That's what you
I
want.
think it makes sense that she would go like. It makes sense that she would make that mistake.
Yeah, I guess so.
sure.
Yeah.
It seemed like instinctively, it seems like the worst idea to go straight into the wave. Either way, as well, that wave was so big. I reckon she's fucked either way.
Yeah.
I bet there's some like boating forum somewhere where there's a lengthy 8-page discussion about just this part of this episode.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that would be fair.
Yeah.
That would be fair. What else are they talking
And
about?
Yeah.
then we have a bit that I really did not like.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of reasons why I didn't like this. And again, I'm genuinely trying to think about this in the perspective of me just watching the show and not knowing the game.
Yeah, you're an empath. You're thinking
I'm an
about the rest
empath.
of the
I
audience.
like to think about what other people would think. And my first thoughts that popped into my head were like, and I know, it's whatever, it's a TV show, but like that island we saw, like, so all the wolves and stuff, they were clearly going to this island.
Yeah.
That was like, seemed quite far away.
Yeah.
And she's fallen off this boat when she's going towards the aquarium, which doesn't like. And then next thing you know, she's just on the shore of this island that seemed quite far away, and the
Yes.
boat is like right there next to her.
Yeah.
She's out of the boat, like they've both washed up together.
Yeah.
Exactly on the shore, like the boat right next to her. Mm-hmm. She wakes up, gets up, and like, how long did it take to get there? Like, it seems
Yeah.
like it would have taken
I'm
quite
thinking,
a while.
what video are they adapting? Link's Awakening now? They're just like adding that into the soup.
Just washing up on a beautiful beach, being like,
And
who
then
am I?
What's that big egg doing up there?
She gets picked up by the scars.
Yeah.
And this is like, and like, okay, so my suspension of disbelief is a bit rocked by the fact that suddenly she's on this beach and the boat's right next to her. That
Yeah.
seems too convenient, but whatever.
She's been unconscious through this and has washed. She didn't drown somehow.
Yeah.
And then the scars pick her up.
Little creepy
And
little kid.
Creepy
Yeah.
little
Love
kid.
that.
They're fucking creepy as shit, those little
Yeah.
kids. Kids in general, but then
Yeah.
this one, fuck. And then she gets strung up. Now, this scene was tense. I was into it. Like,
Yeah.
she's getting strung up, rope around her neck. They're going, and then the woman pulls out the big sickle. She's going to slit open her belly.
Yeah, I think at this
and get
point,
the treasures inside.
my partner is like, they're gonna kill Ellie. They're gonna kill like what, like, because anything can. Joel's died. Anything can happen
Yeah.
essentially.
And you're like, shut up, I'm trying to watch.
Yeah. And this is freaky, right? We know what
Yeah.
they do. They say, and she's going, I'm a wolf. I'm not a wolf. I'm not a wolf. And
Yeah.
the woman either doesn't believe her or doesn't seem to give a shit. They're about to slit open her belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you hear explosions and gunfire.
Yeah,
Shit is popping off like big time.
Yeah.
There's a war going on.
yeah,
And this is something that this show did badly, and a million shows and a million movies have done this exact same thing. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, they are intent on killing this person.
yeah.
And they have her tied up, and and then they go, "Oh, something's happening.
Yeah.
Just leave her."
Yeah.
Don't
Don't take the extra 3 seconds to finish what we're doing.
When it's that short of a task,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's like in Star Wars, and they make fun of this in the Family Guy Star Wars when when C-3PO and R2-D2 escape on the ship and they're in the little pod, in the escape pod.
Yep.
And then someone goes, should we shoot that escape pod? And it's like, no, there's no life forms in there.
Yeah.
And in the Family Guy episode, he goes, what, are we charging by the laser?
Right.
Like, just shoot it.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
It
what do
takes
we
2
lose?
seconds.
Yeah.
What do we lose by shooting it? Just
Yeah.
shoot the fucking... We know robots exist.
Yeah.
Like, shoot the fucking...
It is. It's kind of. It's a weird thing where a lot of the time, not a lot of the time, but sometimes this show really does show its roots of being a video game, where it's kind of the same thing as like in a stealth area where you can like distract people by just like throwing a bottle. Like this guy that's meant to be guarding a doorway, you know, putting his life on the line for. He's like, what's that? Some glass broke over there.
Yeah.
Better go have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic fucking movie trope or whatever that someone is like... So, like, you can be saved in other ways. Like, they could have an explosion happen much closer to them and that knocks them down.
Yeah.
And she gets away. Like...
Yeah.
But to actively say, don't kill her.
Yeah.
When you've just quickly kill her. Like,
Yeah.
If I was going to be killing someone, and I wouldn't.
No.
I would never slit someone's belly open to get the
Sure.
treasures inside.
No.
Yeah.
But if I was going to do that, I'd go, I'll just quickly do it and
Yeah.
then let's move on with our day.
Yeah, you've already got so then she runs away.
Yeah.
She runs away.
Gets in the boat.
Gets in the boat and goes back to the aquarium.
So what was this?
and I
Yeah.
was
What was
like,
any of this for?
what's the point of that scene?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
did that scene happen?
It really
Apparently-
felt like DVD, like deleted scene where you watch and you're like, cool scene, but totally understand why they cut it out.
So
This
it-
really
it makes no
disrupts the
sense.
flow.
This was meant to be in the game, apparently. Like, Druckmann's talked about this scene and is like, yeah, we cut it from the game for pacing, but I wanted it to be in there to show sort of the inherent, like the constant danger that Ellie is in from every side. And it's like another sign to her that like you could die at any moment. It's gonna, like, you've got a woman that you love, you got a baby, you got a community that like, you know, values you, even if you have different ideas about it. You've nearly died here. Just go home. And sure, that's a good point to make.
But we get it. We
know
get it.
that. It doesn't have to be reinforced
You could
again.
have the boat capsize and have her like struggle and sort of somehow get her way back in or nearly be dunked, and that's going to still, you know, that
Isn't
idea
that
of
what
like
happens
even
in
That's
the
what
game?
happens
Yeah.
in the game, yeah.
even nature can fuck you up. Like that's
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
more effective to me than just showing like these people that we already know that they're out there and violent and that they
Yes.
could get her at any point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, literally she could nearly drown.
Yep.
And we could just see her struggling in the water. Or even if you wanted to have that bit, have them on this side of the land. Like,
Yeah.
It's sort of the fact that it's this fucking detour that already is stretching credibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
That she's washed up all the way over here.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you've gone out of your way to put her in this situation where, like, it could have happened down at the docks.
Yeah, it
Have
could have been
something
the
else
wolves
happen
do
at
it
the
to
dock.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The wolves, or
Yeah.
like you could still have, because we know scars are on both sides of this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yep.
They could trap her there.
Yeah, yeah.
And she gets away and then gets into a boat.
Yep.
I think I just also felt too, and this is kind of, you know, jumping ahead a little bit, but like seeing a lot of this stuff we've kind of seen slowly filtered throughout this season. I'm like, I just don't care because I know it's going to be like 2 years before we see really any more, you know, like kind of threading it in and teasing it.
Right.
It just feels so pointless when it's not going to build it to anything in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just a bit like, yeah, okay, these
Yeah.
guys are bad. Like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, it's funny that you say that. Like, you literally said it feels like a deleted scene.
Yeah, yeah,
It
and
is a
it
deleted
is.
scene
Yeah.
from the game.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, we cut it for pacing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you cut it for pacing, and then you got rave reviews, and it was
Yeah.
a game of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you made decisions like that
Yeah.
to get rid of this bit that didn't feel like it really belonged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it didn't belong. It was just a weird detour that like goes nowhere.
Absolutely.
But anyway, she goes back to the aquarium. She sneaks into the aquarium. She's sneaking around. There's a little thing I really liked. I liked this little scene. Little details like this is stuff that I really love in shows. when she like gets into the aquarium and really quickly like pulls out her gun, empties the bullets, dries the bullets off.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
little shit like that I think is cool. Like, it's just like, it's a little piece of busy work that actually has to get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like the reality of this.
Yes.
Like, literally a gun jamming is a possibility. And and also it shows, again, how good she is. Like, she knows the survival skills required.
Yeah.
But it's
She knows
moments
how
like
to clean a
that
gun.
that
Yes.
make that believability of like, well, some people watching would know that the gun is going to jam.
Yeah.
So we've got to show this. But then moments before, expecting you to suspend the disbelief of like she
Right.
got dunked by a wave and washed up next to the boat.
Yeah.
Like 10
it's kind of
kilometers
weird
away,
to have
yeah.
those things kind of like
Yeah,
exist
totally.
side by side. Like
Yeah.
if we are just going full, then have her in a wingsuit, fucking hang gliding
Sure.
to where the aquarium is.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If we're just going full Marvel movie and just like,
Yeah.
all right, kind of, shit just happens and whatever,
Yeah.
I'm on board. Yeah, but I agree.
Yes.
And then, anyway, she gets in there. She's walking around. She hears voices.
Mm-hmm.
She goes in. She sees people who I don't even know if we know their names. We do sort of Owen. I'm sure. No, we do because they've said their names.
Yeah.
I think they,
But you probably wouldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten their name. Owen and someone.
Mel.
She sees them talking. They're talking about Abby.
Yes.
She sees, like, she's looking around. She sees bloody bandages everywhere.
Yep.
They're talking about Abby. They've got maps in front of her. She comes in and goes, "Don't fucking move.
Yep.
Where's Abby?" And they're like, "We don't know where Abby is." And she goes, "I just fucking heard you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where the fuck is Abby? Point on this map."
And they recognize her. And
Yeah,
Owen's like,
yeah.
hey, I kept you alive, remember?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it.
And and she does exactly the trick that Joel taught her,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like one person point on the map, then the other person point, and if they don't match up, you're fucking dead.
If I'm ever in this situation, I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
wait
de-
to be
I
in this
can't wait.
situation.
Yeah.
You
I'm going to
point.
use that. I'm going to do the Jesse trick of being like, oh, that thing happened, didn't it? And then they go, yep. And then you go, I didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
you point to where the pre-cum is, and then you point to the pre-cum, and if they don't match, I'm gonna cum.
Yep. Yep. I learned this from The Last of Us. They're like, what? I've played the game like 5 times and watched the show twice. I don't remember this at any point.
Don't know what you're
It's
talking
a
about.
deleted scene.
You didn't see the special edit that
Sir,
I made.
this is a McDonald's. Sir,
and the crowd goes absolutely berserk, ladies and gentlemen.
anyway,
And the bus driver was my dad.
she says, point out on this map
Yep.
where this fucking Abby is.
Yeah.
And Owen says, don't do it. We're dead.
Yeah. We're dead
Yeah,
either
she's
way.
going to kill us.
Owen's like, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Owen is resigning.
I've seen The Last of Us season 1. I know she's going to kill us one way or the other.
And Ellie, and I believe her in this moment when she says it. She sounds like she's like, I'm not necessarily going to kill you, but she also says it like, I'm not like you.
Yeah.
I'm not like you. I'm not going to kill you if you tell me.
They not
I
like
only
us.
want to kill Abby. Mm-hmm. I want to kill Abby.
Great song.
Thank you.
And then she's like, Owen, show me the fuck where this fucking Abby is. And then he goes to get the map. No, he doesn't. Pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ellie shoots him. Fuck you, Owen. Dead.
You rat
Yeah.
fuck.
You dead rat.
Yeah.
Fucking quick on the draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Mel notices that she also dead.
Yeah.
Not quite,
She
but
notices that she dead.
Oh, I'm dead.
I'm dead.
Oh, bother.
Oh,
I
my
appear to
neck's
be dead.
My neck's dead.
She's like,
I'm my neck dead.
she's shot in neck.
Yeah.
We see a little spirit kind of rising up out of her body, like the
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
weasels at the end of Roger
This
Rabbit.
this scene was fucking hectic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she's bleeding out. She knows she's got 2 minutes to live.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, she's been shot in the neck in an artery.
Yeah.
Like, this is bad.
Yep. In the neck,
She
in the back.
immediately just pulls her shirt open and goes, "You got to cut it out."
You
Like,
got to cut out.
I'm pregnant.
I'm
my
preggo.
I'm
baby.
pregnant. I got a baby.
Everyone's This is like
Yeah.
the fucking lockdown babies or something. Everyone's been
yeah.
smashing lately.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And they're all like, "We thought pre-cum was." It wasn't cum, but
Yeah.
it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Because we're all pregnant from pre-cum.
Yeah.
It's a pre-cum.
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, and like whoever the dad is like, man, I pulled out,
Yeah.
and she's like, it didn't work.
Yeah.
It was weird
There's
to
still
see
a
all this
baby.
and then have Ellie look into the camera and say, "Oh, behave." I mean, I guess I believe that she would have seen Austin Powers maybe at some point.
Sure, yeah. 1999, right?
Yeah,
The
the first one.
Yeah.
I think this might have. Oh no, this would have. When did the second one come out? 2001, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
one of the
reckon
great years.
she's seen two.
No,
She's seen
two's
two of them.
99. Sorry, one's 97. One's
Yeah, right.
97,
Wow.
two's 99.
Wow, that's fucking
yeah,
awesome.
It's
yeah.
great. Like, this show would be so fucking good if legitimately every now and again Ellie would just go $1 million.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like she
Yeah.
hasn't seen.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like people wouldn't talk about it. It's the last media that ever got made.
They would be
Yeah.
obsessed with Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she looked down at Mel and was like, I want to eat your baby.
Everything from that era.
Get in my belly. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Yeah. When the bloaters are coming out, someone would be like, fat bastard over
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Everything around that era. There'd be a real fondness for the South Park movie, I reckon.
Well, Mel's down on the ground being like, I'm really hurt. I'm really hurt.
It's beginning to smell a lot like almonds.
I might survive if you hurt me.
Is anybody?
Yeah.
So Mel's, you got to cut this bub. You got this.
Yeah.
Cut this bub out.
Yeah.
This
Emergency
is fucking.
cesarean.
This is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Ellie's freaking out.
Yep.
She's
Yep.
like,
She
"What
doesn't
do
know
I
how to
do?
do
Like,
it.
I don't know how to do this. Like, what do I do?" And then
Mel's pretty across it.
Yeah.
Mel's pretty across it, but then almost immediately is like, she's passing out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's going like, "You're doing great. You're doing great." This is
Yeah.
fucking. This was hectic.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's going, "You're doing great. Is the baby okay?" She hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
She doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
She has no idea what to do. Mel's dying. She pulls the little jumper down.
Yeah.
She just fucking dies.
Yep.
Fucking
Ellie's
brutal.
broken.
Yeah.
She's just crying.
Yeah.
She dies thinking that the baby
Yeah,
survived,
yeah.
which I guess is
Better
kinda
than being like,
nice little relief.
no, I didn't get to do
I
it.
shall call him Mini.
And then what is it? Jesse and Tommy, they come in.
Yep.
Jesse
Yeah.
and Tommy, they come in. They're like, Tommy's like, it was you or them. Like, you
Yeah.
just do it. Like, you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking.
Yeah. You know what they did.
I don't know
like-
if you've seen what's going on out there, but
Yeah.
like, there's this fungus that's killing people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like crazy
Yeah.
right now. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Bit of kind of moral flexibility
Yeah.
in the world
Right.
we're living in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like gets a whiteboard out. He's kind of like drawing, he's going through sort of some philosophical concepts to sort of make Ellie feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I don't think it quite takes though.
No.
She's quite upset.
She's
No.
pretty upset.
Yeah.
And they get back to the thing. Ellie is resigned to, like, we got to go home now. She has a heart-to-heart with Jesse. She's like, why did you come back? Jesse's like, maybe Tommy made me. And she goes, did he? And he goes, no, I came back for you because
Yeah.
you would do the same for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ellie's really broken up, but also, like, she's still fucking... She's not broken because she's like, after everything I've done, the one person who still gets to live is Abby.
Yeah,
like, she's
yeah.
still fucking...
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
She would kill Abby in a heartbeat. She's still like
Yes.
after what she's done, she still wants Abby fucking dead.
Yep.
And she's probably even more pissed off because, after everything she's done, the one person who survived is the person that beat Joel to death.
Yeah, she still
Yes.
gets to be out there eating food,
Yeah.
experiencing love, quoting Austin Powers,
Yeah, yeah.
singing Kyle's mum's a bitch. All of the like beautiful like fruits of this human existence that are available to all of us.
the Terrence and Phillip fart
She-
song is still
Every
running through
song.
her head.
she just gets to enjoy all of that. It's not fair.
It would
Yeah.
be so funny if she's like, and Abby gets to live, and then it just hard cut to Abby just going, well, Cosmo's bitch is a big fat bitch, is a big
Yeah.
bitch of the whole world, and all
Big
these
fat
wolves
bitches.
just singing along.
Meanwhile-
like at the campfire.
Joel's never going to get to laugh over Saddam Hussein's cock ever again. It's just not fair.
And money she's a bitch, and she's a bitch on Wednesday, Saturday, she's a bitch, then on Sunday. It would be
She's the biggest
so
bitch in the whole
good.
wide world.
Why don't they do that?
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Anyway,
I really hope we get to see the day where a fan of this podcast
Yeah.
makes the fan edit with every,
man.
and then this happened in the show
Yeah.
that we've ever discussed.
oh my god,
Fuck.
this could be the only good use of AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
No
only
one
thing I
should
will
spend
approve
their
AI.
own
Yeah.
their own hours in their life out of that.
No,
I'm
no.
fine with a few forests
Let the robots
burning
do
down
that.
to render up the 8-hour Skellington dance and Abby singing Carl's Mum's bitch.
So they're like, Abby gets to live. What a bitch.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the
And
biggest bitch in the
then
whole wide world. And Tommy's like, I'm going to go fucking pack.
yeah,
And he heads out into the
It's
foyer.
over. It's time to get out of here.
It's time to get out of
The
here.
end.
and they hear like banging,
A little commotion.
gunshot, commotion. They pull their guns out. They fucking run.
Yeah.
They run through the doors, and immediately Jesse gets fucking
Boom.
killed.
Yeah. He gets fucking murked.
Jesse's dead.
Done.
Bang.
Straight away. Bullet to the head.
Which,
Yep.
yeah, my partner screamed in sadness and was just like, so she loves Jesse, and I think the
Right.
show has done a really good job at building him up into being much more of a like actual fleshed out character
Yeah.
than the game.
Yeah.
I really like this character.
Yeah.
I think he's good. Like, you sympathize with him. He makes a lot of sense, but at the same time he pisses you off, but at the
Yep.
same time you're like, he's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like
He's-
that actor too. There's
Yeah.
a clip of him recently on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah.
And he brought out a guitar and he's like, I learned how to play the start of this King Cruel song.
Oh.
He just plays this riff. I'm like, that's so awesome.
Yeah, that's
not
cool.
just
Sick
sitting there
dude.
being like, oh,
Yeah.
I've got a funny story for you, Jimmy. I was
Yeah.
in the airport and I left my bag under a chair. Just being like, check out what I can do on guitar.
Yeah.
I'm not even the musical guest. That rules.
Yeah, that's
Cool
sick.
guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, and
Yeah.
I think great performance. Really,
Oh, so good. I'll
really,
miss him.
just
Yeah.
absolutely.
That was like
Rip.
it was really good. His character was great. He was great. What a legend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now he's dead.
He's
Now he's
dead.
dead.
Fuck him.
hole in his face, blood pooling on the ground.
Ashes
brutal.
to ashes, Skellington to Skellington.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy's on the ground. Abby's going, I let you live, and you
Oh.
fucking wasted it.
Yeah.
That's a good point too.
Yeah.
I didn't have to let you live, but I did. I guess I assumed it was. I kind of remembered it as being like a conversation where I said to you, "Since I've let you live, you just kind of let this go, and you
Yeah.
won't like hunt me and my friends down and kind of execute us one by one."
Yeah, 'cause,
but now that
you
I'm
know.
thinking over it, I realize that that's just a conversation that happened in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that we had discussed
Yeah.
this, and look, that is on me, but
Yeah.
still,
I think
fuck
there's
you.
a communication breakdown.
Yeah. I thought that you had inferred something from this. Maybe I should have implied it a little bit more
We're both
heavily.
at fault. We're both at
We're
fault.
both at
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Let's
Can we
circle
agree to
back.
disagree? Honestly.
let's circle back to
But no, she's holding Tommy at gunpoint. Tommy's like, don't shoot her. Don't worry about me. Shoot her.
Yep.
And Ellie is torn, obviously. And how does it actually go down?
it. Literally, she goes like, Tommy didn't do anything.
Yep.
I killed.
I
your
did all of
friends.
it.
I
Yes.
killed your friends.
Yep.
It was me. I'm the one, and I think she says like, I'm the one Joel killed everyone to save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yep.
like, it was
This
me.
it all happened because of me.
It all happened because of me, and then
Main character much?
and and then Abby points her gun at Ellie, and we hear a gunshot, and it smashes to black.
Yep.
Because
And Ellie yelps.
everyone who made the show is a coward.
Yep.
And then Abby wakes up,
Yep.
and it isn't clear
Yep.
what has happened.
No. Is
She
it a
wakes up on a
dream?
couch.
Is it a vision?
That's actually another thing my partner said. Was that a dream? She's
Yep.
like, I don't understand. What? And she was just like going,
I really
I
would
don't-
respect a show in 2025 pulling the "it was all a dream."
oh man, imagine if
I
like
think I'd love it.
I would pay not $1 million, maybe $50.
Yeah, okay.
For Joel, like for end of season 4 or whatever, however many seasons they do or games.
Yep.
To then like an alarm goes off and Joel wakes up and like Sarah's there and he's like, I gotta
Yeah.
go to work.
Yeah.
Man, I just had the craziest dream.
This dream that felt like it went for like 6 years.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to appreciate my daughter way more
Yeah.
now.
I was dead for a lot of the dream
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest bit.
And and then you see Abby. She gets woken up by someone going, "We're needed" or something. I don't know. Who cares?
Isaac wants you on in his office or something.
Yeah.
And she wakes up. She's in some room on a couch. She opens up the door. She's in a fucking stadium.
Stadium.
She's in a stadium,
a converted
filled with
stadium.
crops and army and all kinds of shit. It's like a big old stadium.
Yep.
And then it says Seattle Day 1, cut to black.
Roll credits.
And then
See you next year, folks.
If World War III hasn't started,
maybe
in 3 years' time we'll get to find out what any of that means.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, what I would say to anyone, it's too late now. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you've been watching the show.
Yes.
But what I would say to anyone who's watching the show or thinking about watching The Last of Us is like, don't. Just wait. Like, wait. Like, there's literally no point watching it now.
See, this is what I was going to say before is like, for a long time, when Netflix really took hold and everything kind of comes out all at once and people get into that binge mentality, and it was kind of like a cool little novelty for a bit. But I've always been, like the last couple of years, it's been nice to be back in the realm of like Succession was such a great one to watch week to week. And like, shows exist for like escapism, but also a community that forms around them. And like, I don't like the mentality of like, I'm just going to wait until this is all out and watch all of it.
Right.
I like watching stuff week to week. I like having a finale that leads to discussion.
Absolutely.
But these shows that take these huge breaks in between, it's annoying because it's kind of a lot harder to defend that. It's like, it does lead you to just going like, just wait until it's all out. Don't sit around for fucking 3 years waiting to find out what happens. I would never,
because it's, I literally said this to my partner. I was like, for me, it's fine because I've played this game through like 3 times now.
Yeah.
I know
but I'm
the
an
story
empath. I feel like I'm suffering on behalf of you.
But I was like, but you're not going to like, you're not going to remember, and I'm not saying this because you're dumb, babe, I'm not saying this because you're dumb. I'm saying this because if it was me, I wouldn't remember, because I don't remember any names of anyone in House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like, like when it comes out again, I'll have to just watch this season again.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I had to do with Severance. I didn't rewatch the whole season, but I watched like maybe a 20-minute video, because they have those recaps and all it does is just show action sequences and you're like, I have no idea what happened.
They're so pointless,
I can't remember, like, I literally need to know, I need a narrator to say, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
It's helpful if you watched it yet. They do them in the style of like the last week on, where you're like, oh, okay, this is a nice little primer. Yeah, that guy. But when it's been 3 years, it's like pointless.
And that's the problem with, like, if this show was written cold, like if this was a new show that was not based on anything, I would be annoyed with this. I would say, like, have you not figured out where this is going?
Right.
Why did season 1 have such a nice, tight story, and this is just... And why are we waiting 3 years?
Yeah.
There's so many characters in this and so many details, and if we're going back to day 1, then I assume there's going to be things I need to remember that happened with characters and stuff. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right, yeah. The best experience for watching this next bit is surely me being like, oh, that's happening. Well, that happened. And, getting that crossover stuff. And, if you don't remember it, or I think the other thing, and this happened to me with House of the Dragon, because I liked the first season and I didn't really like the second season. And I think it's because I stopped caring in the interim. So I don't care.
Other things come along. You find like a new show starts that you're like, man, I'm fucking loving this, and you're a bit, your tastes change.
Yeah, totally.
I also think too, the time frame of like, I think it's a big ask to ask people to spend 6 years caring about this same 5-day stretch of time. Is ultimately what it is. Like,
my partner's response was, like, fucking destroyed by Jesse's death, traumatized by the stuff with Owen and Mel, like such a sad fucking downbeat episode of TV to watch, and then just kind of like, because she knows that the rest of the story's out there, immediately was like, well, let's just play the game. Like, let's just play the game together. Yeah. Should I watch the cutscenes? And I was like, well, you could. And like you've said, Greg, like, it's a great story. Maybe watching the cutscenes just on their own, you get the benefit of the story, like the impact of the story. I was like, I think it, like, maybe we just chuck it on, like we were saying before, chuck it on story mode.
Yeah.
Play through it as easily as possible and get the story, because yeah, like shit happens. 2 years is way too long to wait.
Well, and do we want to get into the spoiler?
I think we should get into the spoilers.
Let's get into the spoiler section
yeah.
where Son's soundboard.
Wah, 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 wah.
yes.
I just
I'm
saw
gonna
you,
fucking kill you.
I just saw you briefly look around the room to see if there was. Is there anything I can use to make? Is there a whoopee cushion on Ben's desk?
Is that something? No, I thought it was a button.
This does have a small soundboard, but you guys won't be able to hear it.
Yeah.
That was a rim shot. Great. Okay.
Yeah,
great. Cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and there is, if we'd all had headphones, you would be able to hear the beautiful rim shot that I've just done there.
Yeah, okay, great.
So I'm just going to do... There we go.
There we go.
Welcome to the spoiler zone.
We're in the quarantine zone.
We're in the
Yeah, the quarantine zone.
Yeah.
So this goes back to the fundamental thing of when you adapt something. Like people say, when you adapt a book, you have to change it, right?
Yep.
Because they're like you can have a character's internal monologue and you can't have that on the show, or whatever. There's a million reasons why you have to make fundamental structural changes to it. And it's why I said, and I've said a million times, like you don't need to make changes to this in a major way, because it already fundamentally is just a visual thing, right? The only changes you need to make is if you want to, or in this case, if you really are forced, which is not true, but if you're really forced, like for some reason a magician has said you have to make one season now and then you have to wait another 2 years before you even start filming the next season.
Sure. I mean, hey, Severance, the example was COVID, right?
Yeah.
It was COVID.
Yeah, they had COVID. All
and
right,
a writer's strike.
Yeah, COVID and writer's strike. But
Yeah.
if you're adapting this $1 billion fucking IP, like just front up the money and just go, just film it.
Yeah.
Just it is easy. Like they can do anything they want. The HBO, they can make a 14 episode season. They can shoot 2 seasons back to back. They can do anything they want. Having a 3-year break means, like, if you keep the structure the same, and what I was really hoping would happen is they would like when Ellie washed up on the island, I was actually really hopeful. I was like, holy shit, we are now in a detour.
Right. Yeah.
We are in a complete. I thought, what if she doesn't even get to the aquarium? What if they totally fucking change it? And I was like, honestly, that's fine, because structurally, what made the story work was that it was a continuous story. It would like in the scene in the cinema, the next day, like, it's bleak as fuck, and then immediately you wake up as Abby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
exactly.
you're playing
That
as Abby.
impact of it's not just that you're then seeing it through her eyes and playing as her is obviously a big part of it, but it's the fact that it's immediate and it's like boom, and it's like being straight in there is so disarming. And in the game, you spend the first half hour being like, what is actually, personally, I kind of like walked around for a bit. I was like, oh, this just must be a weird little, 2-second interlude, and then I'll be back to Ellie. And then I'm I'm like picking up upgrades and I'm like fully crafting stuff again. And I'm like, oh, I think this is the game now.
Yeah.
And like that impact was really cool. And to, have this big, it's like the impact of it was the immediacy of it.
Yeah,
was
it was
boom.
the absolute immediacy of it,
And trying
also,
to kind of cheat that by showing us a little bit and showing us the football stadium, I feel like is just, it's kind of a bit of service if you know that that's in the game. But anyone outside of that, it's just like, well, this isn't oh, holy shit. It's like, well, they hold up in a it's not like there's football games on. Of course there'd be people like making little shelters in there.
I don't understand what the big reveal is.
Yeah, exactly. That was really played as like can you believe this? I was like, I didn't really get like why that was meant to be so impressive to anyone outside of, I
think it's more that like the frustration of the cut to black with the Ellie Abby scene is real and annoying. I think that having the bit of Abby and Day One is some kind of reassurance, and maybe it's not actually reassuring, but it is some kind of where informing the audience like next season will be about Abby.
Yeah.
When we're not leaving that cliffhanger for no reason, for pure indulgence or laziness, like that is going to get resolved. But the whole twist on this is that we're going to spend a season going back to the start and building back up to it.
Yeah.
And so like it is kind of, it's a bit hand-holdy and it's a bit like patronizing a little bit to the audience to be like, well, we've got to let you know what's going on here because we don't trust you to just wait. But also, you shouldn't have to wait. Like, it's having it both ways.
I would have loved this to be a 10-episode season, see all of the Abby stuff, and then we were talking about this the other day. That's probably where the next season is going to end. I would have been fine with season 2 ending on when they're in the farmhouse and they're like getting the new intel and her being like, fucking don't go. Like that would have been, that's a great season ender, but kind of doing that again, you know what I mean? Like it being extended over 3 seasons, I think is too much.
Right.
But if 2 had have ended, if this season had have ended there and we had all the Abby stuff in there, I don't know. I kind of feel like they had an opportunity to just have it be if they had really gone for it and figured out the challenge of adapting all of this into one season and just go fucking as hard as they can.
Well, I think ideally it would have been at least twice as long as it has been because I think there's all that stuff with Lev and Yara. Is Yara Lev's sister?
I think so.
That like all of that stuff is like really interesting and that's what fleshes out Abby's character and like makes us empathize with her after all of the horrific shit and, you know, really putting the audience offside with her. I think that you do need more time to do that than just day one, an hour's worth of content, you know, like...
Yeah.
I think that would have been the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, like, it's... Like, you can't take out just the pacing of what this was and go, oh yeah, it'll be fine if we do it over 3 years, because part of what made The Last of Us so brilliant was like all the little details that you kind of are almost immediately paid off,
right?
Yeah.
Right, like they did a thing, and of course they have to do this because although they didn't have to do this, they could have fucking done this in some other way, but like in the game, right? They cut out they didn't have the scene where you kill a dog.
Yes.
So in the game, like right before she kills Mel and Owen, she kills this dog that attacks her. And then it's very, very soon after that when we wake up as Abby, almost immediately we see that exact same dog.
Right.
And the dog's really happy and it's playing fetch. And that is like the first one of multiple little things. Like there's a bit where Ellie kills this girl who's playing a little video game. And then again, almost immediately, we see that same girl with her video game and she's really nice and we see who she is.
Yeah.
And they've basically had to cut all that stuff out because you won't remember all those little details in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
And you don't interact with them in the same way.
You're not interacting, like they could have had like little details like that. They could have had a scene where she kills a dog and then, you know, almost immediately we see that dog being like a nice, happy dog.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're like, oh, people won't remember because it'll be 3 years later.
Yeah.
So they had to, like, abandon things like that. But, like, the amount of ways they could have done this, I mean, it's weird that they would stick to the game so relentlessly in the back half of the season and then not in the first half of the season.
Right.
That fucks it up because, again, it's like what I said, right? If Joel had died, if they just didn't have really any of that stuff in Jackson, and Joel had died in episode 1, and they didn't have like a big episode about whether or not we should go and go after Joel, because in the game the pacing was pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
It was like Joel dies in the opening sequence. And Ellie just goes to get revenge.
Yeah, I think like we basically cut to Ellie and Dina on a horse, being like, we're nearly at Seattle.
Yeah, there's no town meeting. There's no fucking anything. There's no assault on Jackson. That whole sequence was fucking cool.
Yeah.
But like that was all like, and I'm like, okay, so they're really fundamentally changing it. And I thought, oh yeah, well if they fundamentally change the show a lot, then maybe it's going to end before the cinema Convergence, you know, or whatever. But then it just sort of didn't, and then it just picked up the pace and followed the game pretty much exactly.
Yeah.
In a way that's like the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right, and I think like seeing the stuff of Abby so early on, I was prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt, and that to me kind of signaled that like, oh, maybe they are going to bring all of that stuff in with her into this season. And so for it to still, again, like you're maybe not going to remember those specific details, or like to then kind of just not see her for most of the season. I feel like it kind of would have been more impactful to just maybe have you be like, who is this chick?
Well,
maybe have that be the reveal. Maybe you see that as the, like, when she wakes up, you know, like after the little cliffhanger bit, if you had have learnt then that that's who she is. And so you go off into this break, like giving you a bit of like, oh, fuck, like a bit of a reveal for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been the more interesting way to do it. But that kind of made me, that being introduced when it did really did make me think like, oh, they're putting this in here because, she's going to be like way more prominent in this. Like it is all going to happen in this season.
And that's the thing. The game told the story in a non-traditional way, which is telling one person's story, then going back in time and telling another person's story that happened at the exact same time.
Yep.
So the two stories that we're seeing, a traditional way of telling that story is to cut between them.
Yep.
Right? You've got your A plot and your B plot.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in this case, it would be two A plots, really, but you're cutting between the two stories. That would be a traditional way of doing it, and the game would have been fine if it did that, but you'd be like, you know, sometimes it can be annoying, and it would have been less exciting. But if I thought they were going to do that when they cut to Abby at the when you see Abby at the very start of season 1, I thought what they're going to do is they're going to go more traditional, and they're going to have like what Ellie's up to in Seattle on day 1, cut to what Abby's up to in Seattle on day 1, and that would have been a change that I would have thought, look, it's not as good as the game, but if we have to wait a fucking year for season 2, it's a better way of doing it.
And I think they would have done it. I would have been like, yeah, I get it. This is still an interesting way of doing it, and it is different. And I mean, I think the thing too that we're kind of forgetting is that it's all well and good for us to go like, oh, this kind of sucks to wait, but we kind of know what happens. But the thing is too, like if you're someone that hasn't played the games, it's not just like the wait to find out what happens. It's the fact that information is out there, right? So it's 2 years of you having to avoid, you know, a fucking a YouTube video randomly coming up on your algorithm or an Instagram reel coming up because there's a sizable, like that. It's not just like, oh, fuck, I really want to know what, but we're all in the same boat of like with Severance, fuck, what's going to happen now? And like none of us know and we're all excited together. You've now got to live in this weird existence where I would say like the way you guys have watched it and like how I'll eventually watch it when Lauren catches up is like pretty common where it's like half of the household knows what's coming, the other half doesn't. And it's like, that's a bit, it's not just like a big ask of like waiting to find out. It's the like,
resisting the temptation.
It's resisting the temptation, but also being able to like accidentally have it like just come onto your radar through even just discussions about like, you know, we're so clear about this, about when we're doing spoilers, but you know, we've had people write in and be like, oh yeah, I just decided to fucking listen anyway, and I really regret it. It's like,
totally.
You know,
like, and it'd be too hard not to avoid spoilers. But then, I just think if I was the showrunner of this show, which I should have been,
I think we all agree with that now at this point.
Like,
do you think Mr. Oily exists in the Last of Us universe?
They've seen Mr. Oily. It'd be like, like somehow Mr. Oily went back in time and they've seen it.
Yeah, feel his love. There are people that there are people that worship him as a godlike figure.
That's another thing for the AI remake. Is like every time you see Feel Her Love, it's Feel His Love.
Yeah. There's a pocket of Sydney where they view Mr. Oily as like some sort of deity. Yeah.
The scene where I don't know how to do this.
Okay.
I want to reshoot the scene with Isaac where he's got the metal beating up the pan.
Yeah.
But when it cuts to the naked guy, it's Mr. Oily slipping around.
Writhing
Please,
around.
I'm too oily. I don't know anything.
Yeah, he's not chained up or anything. He's just, they've covered the floor in grease and he just can't get up.
I don't know anything. I don't.
We could do this. I think
could do this. Yeah. Let us know if you've got a studio where we can film this.
Stupid
if you're
old
good with
Evan,
like,
if you're listening.
Please. So here's the three ways they could have like not made this fucked.
Yeah.
Right. And also I want to say, like, I didn't think anything. It's like, you know, not the same as the last season of Game of Thrones, because last season of Game of Thrones was bad. But like a lot of the plot points weren't bad. It was just the pacing that was bad.
Sure. Yes.
Like a lot of the things that happened weren't necessarily bad. It was just they happened too quick and they happened in a way that was too dumb. it's kind of like that with this, where like the show wasn't bad. It's the fact that now we have to wait 3 years.
Yeah.
And that like they should, if they were gonna adapt the show, they should have just gone what I've said over and over again: 14 episodes, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Like you do have the money, you're HBO.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you do have the ability. It's absolutely no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
to-
what's coming up in the back end of the schedule, it would have been cool if it like when they announced it, it's like, hey, season 2, part 1 in, what are we in, April, May?
Yeah.
Starts in
Yeah,
May,
like
and then
November.
part 2.
Even a couple of months break would have been
Yeah.
all right. Like shoot it back to back, whatever. You
Yep.
could have done that. There's no excuse for not doing that, and it ruins because this is the thing. It ruins the pacing. The thing was paced well. It's like Neil Druckmann said, "Oh, we cut that scene out
Yeah.
for pacing."
Yeah.
yeah, and you got it right.
Yeah.
you got it right. You won Game of the Year. Like it was a fucking phenomenal story.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me just also on a practical level that they don't, like I said a few weeks ago, like a lot of the work in this show looks like it goes into the location and the set
Yeah.
dressing and stuff. And once you've done all that stuff, to not maximize your time in there,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
rather than like pack it down and then come back in 2 years' time and have to like
It's crazy.
probably a bit of that football stadium stuff with CGI, but you know, a lot of the like street stuff. It's like once you're there and you've got that area, it's like
Yeah.
get in and bang out as much of it as you can. I would have thought.
If you're worried about keeping people on the hook as a subscriber for like monetary reasons,
Yeah.
then surely that balances out the fucking ridiculous production costs. I don't. Yeah,
And that's the thing, right? If like you can do it, it's a question of whether they want to do it or not.
Right.
And
Yep.
they obviously didn't want to do it.
yep,
And then you have the issue where like, okay, if you are going to have this big break, then you have to do, like the next best thing would be to fundamentally change the structure.
Right.
So like have a season where it cuts between Abby and Ellie over and over again.
Sure.
So at least we see like the other side of, like, if we see Ellie kill someone, we then get to see that person,
before we've forgotten who they are.
before that we've forgotten who they are and whatever.
Yes.
It's like not as exciting a format, but it's better.
Yeah.
And it like works.
Yep.
Yep.
And if you're not going to do that, if you're going to do exactly what you just did, then the least you could possibly do, if I was like, if that was like you just, for whatever reason, a wizard said you have to do it this way.
It was a magician before.
Now it's a wizard.
I was fascinated by just a magician coming up and
Yeah,
saying,
magician. If
you
David
have to do this.
Copperfield
Pick
is
this
like-
card. But like, cause I guess what I'm saying is like there is no reason other than just
pure arbitrary, like
pure arbitrary thing. But
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you have that arbitrary restriction that is impossible, where you have to shoot the season as it is in the game and then go to this break, I would have at least done it where because we know what happens in the game, which is Abby and Ellie have a massive fight in the cinema.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, Abby is victorious, beats the fucking shit out of Ellie, and then at the last minute decides, I'm still going to let you live. I'm not
Yeah.
going to kill you in cold blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go the fuck home.
Yeah.
And Ellie slinks away and goes home.
Yep.
You should have shown all that.
Yes, absolutely.
And then gone back to day one to see Abby's story or whatever. Like, or even just shown that, because that's the sort of end of the story, but there's more to the story. We
Yeah,
know
you're
there's
right.
like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
still
you're
know
right.
there's more
That
to
all
the
does
story.
happen just like immediately in that moment. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Like that's exactly what happens in that moment. Have that at least resolve. Have Ellie lose.
yes.
And we know there's still more to come.
Yeah. 'Cause
does she-
There's still so many loose threads. There's all these things we don't know. We don't know who the fuck Owen was. We don't know. We already know there was things that Abby was doing, and we don't know what they were. There's all these threads, and at least now we're like, okay, we've seen the resolution of this story for now.
Yeah, yeah. But there's going to be, even if at the end of all of that, cut to black and then say season 3 coming 2027. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so the audience knows that there's going to be more.
Yeah.
Like that's not the end of the whole story.
Because in the game, does she pull? Does the like gunshot and all that happen in the same way?
Ellie
No,
just-
No, in the game, it does have it. It basically is the same, but she shoots Tommy.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Oh,
shoot
that's
at
right,
Ellie. She
yes.
shoots Tommy in the head.
Yeah.
And we don't know, and we find out later he's sort of had a glancing shot that
Yeah.
took his eye out.
Right.
and it then cuts to black. But again, like, and we do have to wait. We do have to wait to find out what happened. But we have to wait to find out what happened whilst immediately continuing on with the story from Abby's perspective.
Yeah.
So you can wait when you immediately pick up the story.
Yes.
Like it's because the pacing was correct.
Yeah, and if you're like,
sense.
if I want to know what happens next, and I know that we've just gone back 3 days, I'll just keep playing the game until we get to that point because I'm desperate to find out, and I can do that.
I just
And
think
it was
like the gunshot on the fade to black is like it's
the
so
biggest hack.
It's
It's
so
hack.
weak. It's
Yeah,
like the bullet because it's like obviously it's wanting you to think like. Oh, well, Ellie's been shot and he's dead.
Yeah.
But to just then come back and be like, no, just kidding, the bullet missed. It's
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I
That's-
mean? It's like, unless there's like a satisfying, unless it's like, at least with the Breaking Bad thing, it's like, well, it wasn't, you waited ages, but it wasn't like the cop out of like,
Right.
no, they're fine.
Right.
Which is what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a blank.
Yeah. yeah.
But even then, it's like what I said with the Breaking Bad thing. I still think, you know, like it doesn't matter now because you can just watch that and then watch the next episode.
Yeah.
But they should have had, like, what wouldn't have been a cop out is, and I think they wrote this because they legitimately didn't know what they were going to do next.
Yeah.
But like, which again, I think is a cop out. But you know, they should have shot Gale.
Yeah.
We see Gale is dead. Now the tables have turned. They should have shown the scene where Gus like kills that guy just for the fun of it, you know, whatever. And so now we know what the setup for season 4 is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like we know this isn't resolved, but we also know that the immediate danger. It's like the analogy of the cliffhanger. Like, don't have someone dangling off the cliff, have them climb up onto that ledge, go, cool, I made it,
Right.
and then look up and see what's left to go.
Yeah.
That's how a series should end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is like, you make it over that ledge, you sit down, you go, all right, cool, you have a breather, and you look up and you see, but I've still got all this to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I know with like these continuing with the a serial or whatever the term for it is, it's like, yeah, the story is ongoing, but I do think like each season you should be able to look at and go, here's the thing that kind of happens in this
Yeah.
that is sort of like resolved in some way. And I think that was my, like, when I said I hated this episode, I actually did, and like I liked most of what happened in this season, but when you look at it as a season, it's like it just is, it's like you can't
It's
point at it and go,
completely
this
unfulfilling.
gets
Yeah,
set up
yeah.
and then I think like people who would maybe be like angry about Joel being dead and that happening, and it is a shock and it is meant to be like such an explosive thing that happens, but if it's then this thing of revenge that you get no closure and it hasn't led to anything that you can go at the end of this 7 weeks like, oh fuck, I can't wait to see what happens next, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like literally I can't wait to see what happened. Like it's still we're still kind of floating around like what happens with this revenge story. Like we don't know.
Even if the way that this season had ended had been, they get back to the cinema and they're all in agreement that it's time to go home, and Tommy's like, all right, I'm going to go pack the Last of Us stuff up. And then it cuts to an exterior shot of Abby standing outside the cinema.
Yeah.
That is more in line with we've resolved one story and we have a tease for what the story is going to be next. That's more palatable to me than what we got, which is literally like halfway between anything fulfilling.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it too, the more I think that like genuinely, I think it should have resolved with Abby beating the shit out of
I think
Ellie.
you're right.
Yeah,
I kind
I
of
think
forgot that's how
and-
it played out and going, like, leave, I'm going to let you live.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. I mean, it's the same, like season 1 and the first game, you know, ended in a way that was like perfect. It was like season 1, I was so satisfied with that ending.
Yeah.
Going, do you swear? And he goes, I swear. And then she has a look where she's like, I'm going to choose to believe you.
Yes.
Yep.
And the story is resolved, but we want to see more. And in this, if they showed Ellie getting beaten half to death and then leaving and walking away with her tail between her legs, we know that's not the end.
Yeah.
Like we know that's not the end. And even if we think it's the end, we still want to see more.
Yeah.
Like because they've already throughout the season they've set up so many things. I mean, we know they've just set up this big battle on this island. What
Right.
the fuck's going on there?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we know we're going to find out in season 3.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
even need to say that. We know that's, you know, they keep saying, where's Abby been these last 3 days? You know, where the fuck was she? We see Mel and Owen arguing about Abby. What were they arguing about? Where's Abby been?
Yeah.
We're going to find out in season 3.
Yeah.
So show Ellie losing everything and like losing the battle and walking home with her tail between her legs.
Yeah.
It would have been a way better ending. And it would have given us some closure.
Yep.
And some ability to go, cool, Ellie's story is done now.
Right.
Let's go see Abby's story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would have been good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Neil Druckmann.
I think chuck another, because it wasn't even that long of an episode.
No.
Yeah.
Do a 90-minute episode and chuck
And
all that in.
If you're gonna tell me, and this excuse might fly with some, no, not with me, it won't. That's the Richie Benno.
Yep.
That advance that excuse with some, not with me, they won't. I think it was a poor effort. I think it was absolutely disgraceful. I think it was the worst thing that has ever happened on a HBO Max television show. I hope they change the rules tomorrow. It's like, what the fuck was I talking about?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to hear more of that.
No, like, no, what I'm saying is, like, if even if they say, all right, we absolutely, for financial reasons, we could not film 2 seasons back to back and we couldn't film any more than 7 episodes.
Right.
You can't tell me you didn't have a budget for one more scene.
Yeah.
One more scene.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even have to be 90 minutes. It could be another fucking 15 minutes of a fight.
Yes.
They're beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like, and in the end, and like, yeah, like if you're gonna split it up, you got to give some resolution. You can't do what you did in the game, and they did exactly what they did in the game, but then without, now it's a 3-year wait. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it's woke. I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like how woke
that.
it is.
Why are there women in it? Is what I want to know.
Yeah,
Women
yeah,
can't
yeah.
fight in battles.
Yeah, and they never have.
We've done a
And they
good
never
job
have.
sort of not bringing that up until now, but yeah, we just to kind of cap this season off, we do have to say that that's how we all genuinely do feel about it.
And women shouldn't be in love with each other.
No.
I missed my favorite character, Seth. I think he should have had more screen time. I think it's like a recent HBO thing, and I don't know why, but they've started reducing episode lengths of seasons of other shows as well. Because they used to do it with Game of Thrones. They would do, and again, it's the property that's being adapted to a point, they would resolve that season's storyline, maybe from 2 onwards, in episode 9. And you'd have a whole episode that was about setting the table in a way that was tantalizing for the next season, but didn't feel like a cliffhanger or a cop-out or lazy writing. It was like, we've got 9 hours of a story that has a resolution for a bunch of characters and for the audience to feel satisfied, and then a whole 60 minutes of what's next. And clearly the philosophy of that is just out the window. And they're all fucking morons at the top there. So,
The bad decisions and the production level have led to this shit.
But overall, still
pretty entertaining.
What's frustrating is it's what they're doing is good.
There's
you know what I mean?
really entertaining
When they're
stuff in
actually
there.
doing it, they're really. I love the flashback episode. They did so much good stuff, and I think like that's the frustration. Is just like, man, just cook for another 4 episodes and put all this shit in.
That's what I'm saying. Like if like once season 3 comes out in 2037. Once season 3 comes out, and then I guess season 4. In when we're dead.
Yeah.
When those 3 seasons are out, and you watch them back to back, I reckon it'll be sick. That's not the issue. The issue isn't that you've fucked things up in it's like even the end of that end of that episode would have been absolutely fine if episode 8 was coming next week.
Exactly. I thought that's what kind of annoyed me about it. I was like, if you just knew now, like, holy fuck, we're going to get what happens now? 4 episodes of just that would have been so disarming rather than like
you're right. I think like the legacy of this show in like 2030 will be what a great show, what a brilliant story with great performances and like thrilling set pieces, but we're in 2025 and we watch stuff week to week and fucking bi-yearly.
And I guess that makes us idiots.
We're a bunch of bloody marks. We're a bunch of bloody rubes and they're laughing at us.
Well, I
They're
guess we better wrap
laughing
it
at
up
us,
there,
Tommy.
right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
this installment of our Last of Us recaps. Greg, thank you for joining us for
Yeah.
this season.
Thanks for having me on your.
It's been fun to chat.
Yeah.
It's been very, very
It's
fun
been,
to talk.
It's been a
talk
Yeah.
cool
Ellie.
time. I love pre-cum.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a potential of doing, because you have Mr. Oily, a famous character, but you had Mr. Cum before that.
Yeah.
Did you ever do or think about doing Mr. Pre-Cum?
That's interesting. I think I actually did at one
Yeah,
point. I think I thought
That's
about
like the
doing Mr.
Muppet
Pre-cum.
Babies bit of Mr.
yeah,
Cum.
yeah.
Mr. Pre-cum.
I don't know,
Hey guys,
get
I'm Mr.
Sam
Pre-cum.
Campbell to be Mr. Pre-Cum.
Yeah.
You got
That would actually be funny. Yeah,
That would
if
be
I had
really
Mr.
good.
Cum,
Yeah.
and then Mr. Pre-cum came out.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Pre-cum.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just a little workshopping session at the end.
that's
Yeah.
interesting,
Well, you
yeah.
got some shows coming up. You could try and
Absolutely.
put that
Yeah,
into one of
that's
them. You
true.
got
If you want me
your-
to cut this out, you know.
You're
No,
doing your show
I don't.
Geggy again at the Replay Festival
Yeah, I'm doing
in
my show
Melbourne.
Geggy again. I think I also misspoke in a previous episode. I'm pretty sure I said I've got all these Comedy Republic shows
Yeah.
coming up, which I sort of do now, but I sort of don't. It was
Yeah.
a whole big thing. I jumped the gun
Yep.
because I was filming something we're filming something
Yes.
with Grouse House.
Yes.
And it was going to be these late shows at Comedy Republic. Turns out now this idea that we're filming is different.
Okay.
And we're not filming late shows at Comedy Republic, but I'm still doing late shows at Comedy Republic during the festival. Is that confusing? I don't know.
There's shows that you're doing that people
There's
can go
shows
to.
that I'm doing
Yeah,
at
exactly.
Comedy Republic that you can go to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In the Replay Festival,
And there's an
including my show Geggy and a late quiz show.
Great.
And it's all on the Comedy Republic website during the Replay Festival there,
Yeah.
so you can go and see them.
Go see Greg live. It's he's one of the best comedians that I've ever seen, and I really. My girlfriend, she won't listen to
She
this.
wants
'cause
to
it's-
leave you
yeah,
for me.
Yeah, she literally last night was like, because like she's been to see your shows before I had met her.
Really?
Big fan of yours.
Yeah.
And she was like, I've got to clean up a bit because Greg Larsen's coming over.
Has she seen how I live? Has she?
That's awesome.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, how dirty would you be if I intentionally stole your girlfriend away from you?
I mean,
Like-
I'd be pretty upset, but I also would understand it.
Like, if I did it for the lols,
Yeah,
but also
yeah.
it was real, like it was still real.
Yeah.
It'd leave me in a pretty weird place.
Yeah.
But it would be funny.
I'd be very conflicted. I'd find it funny, but then I work a lot with Ben, so I would have to kind of deal with the emotional fallout of that.
Yeah.
But while also not admitting that, like, I'd be kind of waiting. I'd maybe give it 6 months, and then I'd be like, "You seem like you've kind of healed a little bit, and you've done the work. You do have to admit it was kind of funny."
Would you
Yeah.
would you ever consider, if I did steal your girlfriend away from you, would you ever consider doing a podcast with me called I Stole Your Girlfriend? Where we just talk about it?
Well, beyond even that, just season 3 of Last of Us comes back, and it's getting closer and closer. And I'm having to say to Ben, like, "Look, we haven't really. I've made a real effort to not kind of bring him up around you, but I got to ask, should we get Greg back to talk about The Last of Us?"
like, well, man, it's going to bring up. Like, I watched the season 2 with my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
So I'll keep going. Yeah, so I'm watching with my girlfriend. You know her. You know her. You know her, eh? Like, yeah.
I haven't had the
Yeah,
experience of watching with a partner this season, so I'm kind of watching it in a vacuum. You know.
And you try and steal my partner, but then I end up just being in a throuple.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my big
Like-
question. What happens there? Is she?
I just get I get more and more girlfriend. I steal your girlfriend.
I was going to
great.
say,
Ten
Great.
yeah.
I want to start a podcast called I Stole Your Girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it's just me getting like 20 girlfriends.
Yeah.
And then interviewing the people whose girlfriends I
Or it's
stole.
called I'm trying to steal your girlfriend, and you get guests on, and you kind of what sort of stuff do they like? Like when you kind of
that's not bad.
What would you say was the thing that you did where you kind of noticed that they had undeniably fallen in love with you?
That's not bad. Maybe that's the main feed, and the Patreon episodes are I Stole Your Girlfriend.
Right,
It's a follow-up
previous
on that.
people, yeah. That's great. That's really good. Listeners can volunteer girlfriends
Yes.
of their own that
Yeah,
they'd like Greg
absolutely.
to steal from underneath them. We'll look forward to all of that in the future.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to put Videodrone on hold for a little bit.
Yeah, there's nothing really.
There's nothing to recap in the immediate future. But,
No.
Maths.
Maths?
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I would be out on that.
if we came back in 6 months and
don't
just did
actually
something
do that.
actual
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Between this and Severance, we've kind of covered enough stuff that's been a little bit, had some good parts, but been a little
Sure.
bit like underwhelming and disappointing in ways. So if we did something where we went into it, like if we just did Schitt's Creek or something, we went in ready to be underwhelmed, and we can only go up from where
Fuck,
we
that's
start.
not bad.
Would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but also like no one's gonna listen.
Nah.
True.
Like if you do Shit's Creek, people are like, yeah.
But just at the end of 8 weeks, being like, you know what, my kitchen rules was actually way better than I was expecting it to be.
That will happen. That will happen. We'll
Yeah,
get
of
Stockholm
course.
syndrome.
Can I just tell one my kitchen rules anecdote?
Yes,
Please.
please.
I don't know if I've definitely talked about this on a podcast
Okay.
at some point.
Okay.
But it's my favorite thing because I used to love. There was 1 year of My Kitchen Rules, and if anyone doesn't know My Kitchen Rules, is a cooking show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where couples would come and cook, and there was this one guy called the Seafood King.
Okay.
Everyone called him the Seafood King because he like was a fisherman,
Yep.
and he was a fuckhead.
Okay.
And all week they were teasing the Seafood King says something so explosive that it rocks the My Kitchen Rules. And then it showed like clips of people going, I'm actually going to leave the show. I'm actually going to leave the show. And,
Okay.
people, and like producers coming in and you see
I
like
love that.
cameramen going and then like people going, can we kick him off the show?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
The
yeah.
ads
have
where
to,
they have
like-
the clips of people reacting and they make the screen shake like they're in an earthquake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? And then like people taking their mics off and going, I'm not going to sit
Yeah,
at, I'm
that's
not
a
going to
great
sit at a
one
table
too.
with him.
Yep,
I'm not
yep.
going to sit at a table with him. And you just see the Seafood King sitting there looking smiling, like, what is the kid? And the Seafood King says something at dinner that totally rocks the show to its core, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for a week to find out what the Seafood King says.
Yep.
What
Yep.
happens? Like, because there's feuds and there's like people have
Sure.
problems with each other. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, is it going to be an argument or whatever? And what happened was they were sitting down to dinner because you'd go to dinner at people's houses. It's like, come dine with me.
Right, right.
And they're sitting down to dinner. There's been no argument. There's been no discussion. There's been no tension. There's been nothing. And this woman puts her plate of food in front of the Seafood King. And just with a smile on his face for no reason whatsoever, he goes, thanks, slut.
Oh! Oh, yes!
And then the whole episode is the fallout. And people are like, what the fuck?
That is great to be in the control room and be like, we got an ep here. Not being like, well, obviously we'll edit that out. What a weird thing to say.
It was
my
out of
God.
nowhere. He just thought it was funny. He just thought it was like a funny thing. He was just trying to be cheeky.
Oh,
man.
God.
Because he's the Seafood King.
Slut.
He just goes, thanks, slut. And then he just smiles. And then they're like, what the fuck did you just call me? And he goes, I'm just joking around. And then it was just like,
See, imagine us in here having to recap that.
Yeah. Maybe we go back and do that season.
that would be
That's great.
wonderful.
Oh, brother.
All right. Well, thanks, sluts. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us,
sluts.
Greg. And
Pre-cum isn't real. Pre-cum isn't real.
Bye.
Bye.
Vapes are illegal in Japan.
Fuck.
They're illegal here, aren't they?
Yeah.